Hey everybody, this is Jeff here once again. Just wanted to bring you another update on the progress of the 1350th TOS Enterprise 1701, and as you can see here, we have got some lighting affected inside of the saucer, and it is coming through nice and bright actually. Got it taped up here just so I could see what it was going to be looking like as far as like these square docking pads that are on the top, or cargo pads should I say, on the top and everything. I don't have any lights that's coming in the BC deck, and I don't have any down below as yet. Those lights will be attached onto the upper saucer section. Right now I just have lighting that has been installed onto the bottom around the circumference here, and here in a bit I'll take this all apart so you can see how I have those, which is pretty much just the way the round 2 recommends you put them with their lighting kit. Those little square pads that are on the inside, I go around and show those as well. It's really quite easy and really quite simple. And also what I have done here, we've got the secondary hull primed up and everything. I've just been going over my last touch-ups and everything with that. Just got the last thing of primer. May need to get just a little bit more. Noticing a couple of spots here that kind of show up on camera better than they do to the eye. Gone around, and getting that, trying to get that as clean as I possibly can, and looks like it is coming out quite well. If I can get it to focus here for us. If we can get some focus, here we go. Okay, but yeah, it was coming out quite well. In fact, it was just one of those things. This is my mom is always talking about doing this. It takes a lot of patience and time, and man, that is so very true. It's like I could not sit down there and do that, because you have to sit up there, putty, sand, putty, wait, and then sand down, then prime, and then you notice anything else you need to fix, putty it up again, then sand it down. And it's like shampooing, rinse, lather, rinse, repeat. So it's kind of the same things. So, but some of the issues that I was kind of having, like I said in the previous video, mainly was just back here, above where these 3 lights would go. And of course, like I said, still I have that hole for that one light that'll stick up, and the other 2 will be on there flush mounted actually, and they're masked off actually, even though you really can't see it. The masking is there for those. So, but I have to say, the seam work and everything on this model kit really did turn out very well in my opinion. I'm liking the way it went. As you can see here, you can see the masking that I did, and like I said, I just used regular masking tape. Here it is, 3M blue. Just use that to get the masks on the inside of there. And the original shuttle bay, the shuttle bay door, the closed one, I used that to mask off the shuttle bay. Simon Merckx, in his video on his Enterprise A, polarized 1350, he pointed out that it makes a very good mask, and it's true. The shuttle bay is going to be open, so it does very well. Now getting off up in there is just a little bit tricky and everything, as far as like sanding and stuff and getting that nice and smooth and everything, but did a pretty good job. Barely can't see it here because it's really in shadow. You can catch a little bit right there, but I kind of wanted that to be nice and as smooth as possible. Not worrying too much about up here, because like I said before in the previous vid, you're gonna have that control window right here. So that right there is going to be taken off, and that's the light in there, of course, that 5mm ground down light, which you can see right there in the top, and it's nice and masked off heavily. So I have to go in and get all that peeled off, and I still have to go back over this and sand it down on a lot of it. So have it had it nice and sanded at first, and then of course I have to go back over and fix some things, pylon wise and everything on the fronts. Had just a little bit of issue with that, but everything turned out right, so it's looking pretty good. I get this sanded down and get the primer sanded smooth and everything, because it is oh well, let me just get it and show you. It's Rust-Oleum automotive primer. It is, this stuff right here is what I used for a primer actually, and since it is a sandable primer. It does come out just not 100% smooth, depending, and I am learning too that it does depend on the temperature a lot. Even with that primer, and that is one thing with paint as well. It does depend on the temperature of your room and everything. And that primer, when it's really, really hot, which it's here in South Central Arkansas, we haven't gotten very much rain. It's just after 8 o'clock in the morning while I'm shooting this video, and it's already above 80 degrees, and we're looking at a high of 99, 100 today. So, and that's the normal, and it's just July. We haven't even gotten to August yet. So somewhat I'm having to do a little bit on the inside, which I kind of hate doing. I prefer going outside, but I just am using quite a bit of sandpaper. But like I said, with that sanding kit that I've got, I just go down, go up in scale as far as like the grit level, and it starts getting everything really, really nice and smooth. And actually, it gets it so smooth that it polishes it. Literally, it polishes the paint, and it has this nice, shiny, reflective surface on it. It's just how high the grit is on there. Now, of course, you're using quite a bit. I'm already having to replace the package so that I can have some of the sand and paper sheets that I've already blown through just on this, just on the engineering hull. It's not to say the rest of it. So we'll see what we've got going on. And like I said, give me just 1 second here. I'm back on this saucer, and I will get this apart so we can take a look. And there goes the phone ringing. Okay, and everybody, I am back. Phone has been taken care of, and top of the saucer has been removed. And you're looking at this, probably wondering, it's gold on the inside of there. Well, it's a metallic gold. It's very smooth, and it does a good job as well as far as like reflecting the light around. Also as well, so want to use that. And like I was saying with the engineering hull, when you look at it, it kind of casts just a slight goldish hue coming through the windows, so it's not quite white, and it kind of takes the edge a little bit off of that slightly blue appearance that sometimes gets cast with these lights. These aren't cool white lights though. They are bright white lights, but they still sometimes coming through the windows give a little bit of a blue. I noticed on camera, and I don't want that too much, but I didn't want to use warm whites either. So but as you can see, this kit, I'm not gonna lie, even though it is a large kit, it is really straightforward as far as getting it together. I mean, honestly, almost to the point to where some of the parts you can even look at on the sprue and figure out where they go without necessarily needing to read the directions. It's just how straightforward this kit is. Really, really nice and everything. And I do applaud Round 2 for the design, for the engineering of this kit, and for just putting it out there, period. It's just awesome. So, I vote next. Give us an Enterprise B in 1/350 scale. We'll love the size of that. Then give us D in 1/350 scale. Really would love that. That'd be a good, 5.5 feet long. That'd be wonderful. So, but anyway, like I was saying, with the lighting that goes on the inside, there are little pads. Let me unplug this so we can actually see what we're talking about. There are little pads, like right here. You have this long rectangular pad right up underneath my LED strip here that they recommend the light sits on. Now, I do also, if you want them just a little bit dimmer in the windows, you have little pads back here along this inner wall as well that you can place your lights on as well, and that'll cast them forward. But since they're a little bit further back, the directions say that they would be a little bit dimmer if you're looking at the directions for the lighting kit that they provide, which I found that in a PDF form online. I can't remember where though, just to see as far as when I was doing the shuttle bay, I want to have something to look at for the lighting. But I do have I have all the recommended spots as well. And like I said, these windows down here, which would be those down there, not exactly sure which deck numbers or letters or whichever you want to use. Those would be, but you know, those lights, I had a thought at first to do that from the from in here, maybe along on the inside of this wall, to put those lights, but I think I am going to have them in the top so that they are kind of casting down and instead of casting forwards. My thinking is that, you know, the strip lighting, as far as like the direction that it goes, you know, the diodes are just right there on the top. I'm thinking it's going more outward than it would be bleeding all around like a regular round LED would. So, and then here in the BC deck area, believe I'm going to use a couple of 3mm white lights on that as well to give me that, to light those windows up as well. So, and then of course you'll have your planetary sensor dome, which has this part right here that sits on the inside of that. And then of course it already has a hole for a 5mm light bulb to go in. So when you stick your bulb in there, light it up. I'm gonna have that resisted quite strongly actually, because I don't want that planetary sensor to be just this big white spotlight on the bottom of the ship beaming down and it's illuminating all of this, all of the front. So I really don't want that. So, but you know, that's the progress on this Enterprise. Go forth and keep on building on this. Those of you out there building models, keep on building them, and I will talk to you guys later. Happy modeling, everybody.